actually take Azonto for breakfast. All right, but up next we have in the studio Elijah Addo, who is the head chef of Plus 233, and we're taking a look at breakfast. What is really the myth? What are we supposed to be taking? Is it wache in the morning by 10 o'clock or tozafi, as some people have said on media this morning? Elijah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here this morning. But already the smell, I'm smelling eggs and tomatoes, bread, milk, oblayo, Tom Brown, fruits. Okay, Elijah, let's take us round the bend. What would you say breakfast is? Is a breaking of a fast. So what then exactly is breakfast? What should it entail?
As you have said, breakfast definitely is two words, which meaning breaking the fast of the night. After about 12 hours, you have rested throughout the night. When you wake up, the first thing you need to do is to take breakfast in order to be able to have that energy to take you through the day.
So across the board, there are various needs depending on what one needs to do in the morning. What is the best time to take breakfast?
Well, ideally, breakfast should be taken around 7:30 to 9. That's the ideal time, because after you taking the food, you need about an hour for the food to digest, depending on the contents of the food. Taking tea, for instance, for breakfast, tea is already in its liquid state, so definitely its digestion process is quite simple. And add Tom Brown, and then we add other local breakfast meals are also quite easy to digest, because that's why when you take breakfast normally should consist of carbohydrate, fibers, and then protein. These three components make up a breakfast, and when these three components are taken in, a digestion process is quite easy.
So say that again: carbohydrates, protein,
and then fiber.
And fiber. Yeah. Fiber is very important.
Yes.
Is it important in the morning so that it sets you for the day, for the bowels and all that?
It's very important to...
You can take fiber at any time.
It's very important to have fiber. Take your breakfast, especially in the morning, within the time which I earlier on indicated, because at the end of the day, taking in breakfast is what will fuel you, the body, for the day. And studies have shown that people who normally skip breakfast, they are prone to concentration problems. They are also prone to weight problems, and they are also prone to metabolism problems. So people who normally, that's how come most Ghanaians are obese. Most Ghanaian men and women are obese as a result of periodic skipping of breakfast.
Now, I did a very quick survey here. It was a small survey on a very small scale on media today, with the panelists on media today. And in fact, most of them said that they eat around 10 o'clock in the morning. They eat either tozafi or something like banku or something around 10 in the morning. In fact, even one of them said that he eats about 1 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon. Well, that's no more breakfast. So it means they have skipped breakfast. What are the effects of this?
Well, skipping breakfast have diverse effects on the body, because before we talk about the effects, we need to even digest the benefits of taking breakfast.
Right, okay.
And one of the benefits of taking breakfast is to kickstart your metabolism level. When the first thing you need to do after waking up in the morning, taking in your water and freshening up, after you take in that breakfast will enable your metabolism level, your metabolism activity to be enhanced. And then also you look at the concentration. That's how come I encourage people to normally take in breakfast before they go to
What is the best breakfast for children before school?
Breakfast also has to do with the components of a breakfast being taken, has to do with the place the one finds himself, the activity one is to engage himself in. But ideally, I normally go in for the potom for kids in the morning.
In the morning?
Yeah.
In potom?
Yeah.
Hey, so you have oil, red oil.
Yeah.
You have either cocoyam or something, or yam.
You have the dried fish. After cooking, it contains all the nutrients I earlier on mentioned, the carbohydrate, the proteins, and then the fiber content
Somebody
in it.
would have thought it feels a bit heavy. And this is, you're talking about the ideal time of about 7:30 to 8.
To 8.
Is that not too heavy?
It isn't. Because cocoyam itself has its own nutritional values. And that's what, when it is made into the cocoyam porridge, normally it's very ideal. It's an ideal local distance for kids and then people who find themselves in doing construction works and that kind of stuff, because there you need much energy to go through the day. And one thing also, that people who normally skip breakfast are also prone to taking in high caloric foods in the day. Someone who doesn't take in breakfast around 10, when finds himself somewhere, will say, oh, let me do with meat pie, let me do with a snack from somewhere. And these are dishes that contain high cholesterol.
But then it seems as though you're not taking in much. But then the calories may be more.
And such people are almost prone to obesity as well. And then also, people who take in breakfast have ways of enhancing their body performance in the day.
I see. So you wake up early in the morning, you're sending your child to school early in the morning. You don't get time to feed the child, or for example, ideal in potompoto. Is it best to give it to the child to take to school so they can eat it before school starts?
Definitely. Or it's advisable that kids take in their breakfast from the house before going to their school, because when they get to the school,
some of them leave as early as 5:30 these days.
That's the lifestyle today too, is what is trending down on people taking in breakfast. And as I earlier on indicated, that's how come our health as a nation quite much to be done with.
So actually eating healthy is not so scary after all, because I'm seeing all the wonderful things here. I'm seeing eggs, I'm seeing bread, I'm seeing fruits as well. Is it all or some of it? Is it can you have this and that and all of that, or just a bit of each?
This is to give viewers an ideal an idea about what an ideal healthy Ghanaian breakfast should entail. We have Tom Brown, we have Oblayo. Oblayo contains so much fiber, which makes it very, very nutritional and then healthy as well to be taken in. This Oblayo can serve as the carbohydrate, and we have the egg, which is the protein value of it, aspect of it. And you also have to have your fruits.
What about cholesterol in eggs? Is there in egg yolk or?
It is quite moderate than in other dishes, fish and then meat.
Oh, okay.
Egg and then fish is quite good to be controlled.
Okay. Yeah. So you can take fish in the morning as well, if you can.
Fish
instead of egg.
For breakfast. Well, I wouldn't advise. Yeah. And even the fried eggs, people normally, most Ghanaians go in for the English, what they call an English breakfast, where they have the fried egg with so much. And Ghanaians, we do like to use much oil. Yeah.
I also heard somewhere or read somewhere about tomatoes, especially for men. When you roast it a little bit, as you're saying, it's good. It goes against prostate cancer. I don't know if.
Well, I've also come across such
sort of a thing. Yeah. Okay, so white bread. White bread. There's nothing wrong with white bread. It's okay.
No, there is none. So, but most of it, the wheat bread, the wheat bread, brown bread, is very ideal in its fiber content.
This one tastes better. Why is it that the thing that tastes to me anyway? This one tastes better than brown bread or the wheat bread or whatever you call it.
We Ghanaians, most of us, we look at the taste of things, forgetting the nutritional value of it as well. Yeah. And to add up to it also, most people to say that if you want to lose weight, if you want to lose weight, then you should
skip breakfast.
You should be skipping breakfast. If you could take this, a typical example of our Muslim brothers, when they, before they fast, early in the morning, as at 5 a.m., they do eat just to gain that energy to go through the day. So my advice to people who normally fast and saying that because of that they will be skipping breakfast is that's a wrong practice. It's a very wrong practice.
Absolutely. Okay. So where does the fruit come in? But before the fruit, you mentioned, you said the fiber content. You talked about fiber content of like, what about the Tom Brown? What kind of mix is it? Is it just pure brown?
Tom Brown, sometimes we use corn to make, and then
you fry it.
Yeah.
Then you
grind
it
into a powder form before making the Tom Brown with it. And then some people, yes, sugar people complain that sugar, taking it in a high content also have effect on the body. Yes, but then to start your metabolism level and also to start your glucose, the body's energy is from the glucose we gain from starch, carbohydrates, and then sugar. So it's also good, but it should be moderate when taking it in the morning.
What about brown sugar?
Brown sugar is quite better than the normal white sugar we have, but definitely the white sugar too can be taken moderately.
All right. So what's in the second mug? Is it milk?
Yeah,
that's
correct? Milk. This we have here is
milk. Some people have issues with animal products like milk. Okay, so what are the alternatives if you didn't want to add milk?
Most people go in for the skimmed milk. We have the concentrated milk, we have skimmed milk, we have evaporated milk as well. So
you can go for soy milk if you wanted to avoid animal protein.
It all depends on what is ideal for you.
Okay, so then at what point does the fruit come? Because after I've eaten all this, I may be too full, I may not have enough space to put in fruit.
That's where breakfast normally is taken. It's a light dish for the day, which takes you through to lunchtime. So that's where normally when you're taking breakfast, it shouldn't be something so heavy. Because you see people taking heavy dishes for breakfast like kinky, and you find them sleeping on the job or feeling restless during they are working activities.
Because they also have that, has it not come from the idea of eating heavily so that it can carry you through the day?
Eating an heavy dish after getting up in the morning is not ideal at all. That's why you're taking the light food to start the day. Because that is how come that's where you gain the first energy, for the day to carry across because
actually it happens to me when I don't eat in the morning. My eyes, I get a bit daisy, a bit daisy. But when the moment, as though there's something wrong with me, but then once you eat, you realize you have the energy to go through the day. So back to the fruit issue. Is it after all these things that you eat? Is it one or either of them or all? A bit of all?
Well, you could have one at a go, but one